Welcome to Monkey Chatter. I'm here with Lara and Michelle. And this is our very last episode of 2024. And
Woo.
who would have thought? I think we're on episode 28, right? This is
Yeah, this will be the
29,
28.
28, 29, something like that.
Yes. So we
Yeah.
wanted to cheers.
So, yes, cheers. Oh, I have water. Yeah, we were all going to do wine, and then Michelle and I went the non-alcoholic route, but apparently Lara is making up for both of us.
I'm drinking a wine because we agreed on wine, and now I get here and one's drinking kombucha and the other's drinking. Now I have to pace myself so I'm not the only crazy one.
We're not very good friends.
Don't you remember the episodes we did on alcohol?
I do. Hence is why I get drunk on a glass of wine now, because I don't drink it very often. Very rarely.
We just wanted to take a little walk down memory lane, I guess, and do a little recap of the year, our first year of podcasting, what we learned, what we liked, what we didn't like, all of that. So my question to you guys is, first question, because you guys are always like asking questions and being all curious and stuff. What was your favorite episode?
Ooh.
Silence.
Oh, that's hard. That's a hard question.
It is hard. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll do mine because
okay. Yeah. If you know, you had some time to think about it. All right.
I was prepared, obviously, because I had the question.
Well,
but
you can go first, and then we'll think about it.
Oh, I know. Okay.
So,
go ahead.
So I was like, I have the answer. So
I have an answer, but go ahead.
I think my favorite one still is, I forget what number. It was episode 7, was the workout clothing one. That's when we found out that Lara rides her bike in her exercise bike. Let's be clear, not outside. In her pajamas.
My pajamas.
That's a good one.
That's actually the first notes that I have in the book that I went back to look at my notes. That's the first episode that came up, was podcast episode 7. And oh, now I understand. So there's a word at the top and it starred and I couldn't remember what it meant. It just says Swiftwick. I'm like, what?
Oh, those are socks.
Oh, socks.
Those are the socks.
Yeah. So later on in my notes, I see something about socks and a bra. We must have talked about bras.
Yes, because we talked about the bra that you like, Lara, that it's like Wakoa. Well, yeah, Wakoa. Yeah, so that was definitely that was my favorite one, I think, of all.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, I think it was just like fun, And I
think Michelle had a unique outfit for her walks too.
Yes, she did. Yeah, she had
I still wear them. Now that it's gotten cold again, I'm like, I can't find anything I like as well. And they're starting to wear out too, so I'm really screwed when they finally get a big hole in them. But they are my favorite by far. I keep thinking I need to, switch up my wardrobe, but
didn't we?
Well, and if you guys
picture of you
to that
you did
picture, if you go back on our social media feed to episode 7, there is a picture of Michelle in her workout clothes.
Yes, my walking gear.
It was probably like, what was that? Like maybe April-ish time frame.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it's still cold.
I still get emails from Constantly Varied Gear because somehow I must have signed up for something after Amy mentioned how good their outfits were.
Yeah, I still wear their pants. Yeah,
yes. I love that.
Pants, bras, shirts. Yeah, vest.
Yeah, that was a good episode, and I don't really remember much about the previous ones, to be honest. That was the first one I took notes on, apparently.
I like the one about, I don't know if it was my favorite. Now I'm like a favorite. That's a serious thing. But I really like the one where we went and listened to the forest bathing podcast.
Oh,
I knew you were going to pick that one because that was my favorite too.
Yeah, because I don't know. I thought that was a good one. I liked it. And
I
we,
love that podcast that we listened to prepare for our podcast.
yes, yeah, that was a
Highland
good one.
something. It was Highland something.
Yes, I have it written down somewhere.
Hmm.
Highland Quiet Life. Highland Quiet Life.
Yes, and
Yeah.
the host is Scottish, and so she has this really lovely accent, and it's really fun. And and that also prompted me to read that book about the trees, and it's this
Oh,
big
yeah.
saga about these people who protest the cutting of these young growth trees in California. It was kind of all loosely based on true situations, and what was the name of that book? Because it was a really neat book. But I loved that book. It's one of those books that you look back on and just like it's been impactful.
Was that Overstory? Was that?
Yes, it's
Was
called
it
The
Overstory?
Overstory. Yes,
Yeah.
highly recommend that book.
So that was one of my. I also really liked the clothing one because I thought that was funny. But I did like I really I really liked sort of doing a little research and listening to another podcast and doing all, like, oh, that's something different I wouldn't have listened to if we weren't doing this podcast, right? Like, I'm not going to go randomly look up forest bathing podcasts, right?
I know. I never would have found that. I never would have found that podcast otherwise. I love it.
I thought for sure you guys were going to pick the deep work one.
Oh yeah, that was definitely
deep
Oh,
work.
I was flipping through my Audible and saw that again, and I'm like, ugh, I've got 2 more hours of that thing to listen to.
Well, the other one that I think might have been my second favorite, then it's a tie between the breath one and the sleep one, because they were both based on novels by people who were really like good writers. One was a journalist, and I think the other was like a scientist, but still. And they were both so good. Like those, and there were podcasts that went with those two. And plus, they were just really impactful things like, how important breathing properly is and breath work and those kinds of things. But then the same thing with the sleep. Some of the stuff about the sleep I had never heard before. I didn't realize how important it was.
That scared me.
Yeah, it was scary. And I came from the thought process of like, you can sleep when you're dead, but also like that never served me well. Cause I always felt like, I'm a person that needs her sleep. And now I know why.
There you go. All right, Amy. So we just talked a lot. What else? So you liked that one the best, but what else did you like?
Well, of course, I liked whenever my running coach was on.
Those were great. Those 3 were really.
I loved having our guests on. We need to do more of that next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are probably my most favorite ones. Trying to think. I'm just looking through the list here.
Right? Like.
Yeah, because some of these are. How could we forget? We did the National Adopt a Shelter Pet Day.
Yeah.
We did the dog one.
That was a good one. Yeah, we had talked about our rescues, which we all have had or have, and our pets in general, which we love.
Yeah, ours just keep multiplying.
Yes, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
And I loved your prompt in the beginning, Amy. You said like, what did we learn? And like, what did we think it would be like? And what did we learn? And and you actually did so much of the behind the scenes work.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there would be no podcast if I had to do any of that. Like I truly, like no technical ability.
Well, Lara, you're doing all the social, like the posts and
I just
stuff.
show up.
I'm supposed to be doing the reels. I'm kind of sucking at that.
At least we're getting some reels now. We weren't getting them when I was doing it.
Yeah.
I can't. I already have to manage my business account, so it's like having to manage another one is just like not easy. But I have a template, so I just use the template. But I love the reels you pull because they're like little bloopers almost, and they're so much fun.
Yeah, and I like doing those. I need to get better about scheduling them because I know I can schedule them. I just need to sit down for like an hour, schedule them all like through the week, like the weeks leading up, like before and after when the podcast releases. Yeah, that's part of my intention for the new year is to not have so much crap going on that I
smart. That's a good intention.
Yeah.
You
That's
still
another one.
working? Yep, working on that, Amy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Started last year with an intentions type.
We
podcast.
did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Kind of our one was that way too, which I thought was kind of cool. We kind of came full circle with that.
Yeah.
But let me just say, when we first started, for all you guys listening, we had no clue what we were doing.
We clearly still don't.
I was gonna say, and you think we do now?
You think we've
That's a
improved?
good point. We really don't know what we're doing now.
Yeah, I have to say this has definitely been like the year of learning how to work the program that we record and edit all this stuff in. And yeah, thank goodness that's gotten a bit easier, but it's definitely still a little Blair, what do you oh, your doggy.
There's a doggy over there.
Yeah, she's
Aw.
Hey.
I'm sitting on the floor for those of you listening or watching YouTube. I'm having a nice little yoga sit on the floor so I could have my tree in the
Nice.
But yeah, like I still remember when we were like before we obviously recorded our first episode, when we were like trying to watch, speaking of YouTube, watching all the YouTube videos of like, oh, what programs can you use and what microphone. I still remember when we bought our microphones. We were like, we have matching microphones.
Right. We got matching microphones. I have since did.
Yeah, I was gonna say we bought all that stuff. I don't use any of it.
I still have mine.
I have mine sitting here, but I don't have it hooked up. I
makes
just
me feel official because then I can go like this.
You can do the Saturday Night Live NPR talk.
Sweaty.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, that part is good, but also, you know what I ended up using my microphone for sometimes is when I record meditations for Insight Timer. Because that one I do need it because it keeps all the. Yeah, I have a bunch of them up there now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. I just started going back in to Insight Timer. Yeah,
you guys would be proud.
Did you?
On our last episode, we talked about me doing some meditation or doing something. I've done a few. Like 5 minutes is kind of my limit.
Perfect.
And then I fall asleep.
There's a bunch of 5-minute ones.
I have to say, you re-inspired me because like I had really dropped off. And so I was like, well, if Amy can do it, I should start doing this in the morning again. So, yeah. So
mornings
I do them at night.
Yeah.
You could do them both.
Yeah. Oh, Lara,
5
let's
minutes
not
in the
press
morning, 5 minutes.
Baby steps, remember, bit by bit. Bit by bit.
Baby steps.
Let's just go with one.
I'm excited. I'm very proud of you, Amy.
Thank you. Thank you guys for helping me see my other side.
And I think so. If you guys haven't listened to our last episode, listen, because we really did talk a lot about intentions, and we got focused a little on Amy's intention to maybe it's a good to slow down, maybe, or
just something. We're still working on the exact words.
Language, but generally it sounds like slowing down a little, which is a good thing. And yeah, so I kind of felt like you just do 5 minutes of slowing down. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Well,
it helps me like go to sleep.
Yeah.
But
I think you texted us the other day and it was like, this whole day of like relaxed stuff, like reading a book and cuddling on the couch with the dogs or wherever you were. And I was like, who is this?
Yeah.
What have you done with Amy?
It was just like a little toe dip into
I like
what I think the attention might be for 2025 to see if I could really like, obviously I'm not going to be doing quite that every single day, but it was pretty nice, I have to say, to like read for enjoyment and not have a schedule and hang out with the pups with the Christmas tree on and so anyway.
Who was I just was it you, Amy, I was just talking to about this? Yes, I think it was.
I don't know. What are we talking about?
Where if you do that, you're either sick or lazy.
Oh,
right?
yes. That was us. Yeah.
Right? Like growing up,
basically. That if you have stillness, and my friend and who was our guest, Cheryl Wolverton, is always talking about this and how we were kind of raised in our society says like, oh, if you're not doing something, you're being lazy. And if you look like really far back, even in a lot of ancient texts and stuff, they talk about like how rest is important. Being still and being quiet and being restful, it makes you be able to think more clearly. It gives you space to work things out. I mean, it's actually really, really good for you. And it probably makes you more productive in the long run. Maybe
Isn't
not.
that the whole idea behind the Sabbath?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah. And like deep work and why we sleep and a lot of the other things we've talked about.
The breath book. Yeah.
We're
All the
not
stuff
getting
the breath.
We're trying.
Sink in.
Retreats. I'm just looking through the list here.
I see a theme.
Well,
I'll
maybe
be
we
honest,
should take our own advice.
I do a lot of that now that I never used to, but it's still a little bit of a struggle, like mentally. Like when I have some free time and I think to myself, what should I be filling this free time with?
Right.
Instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to sit down, listen to a meditation or read a book, or it's like, it's kind of like the opposite of habit stacking. Like habit stacking is great because you're getting things done. Like I'll listen to audiobooks a lot when I'm on my way driving to errands because then I get time in to listen to my book instead of just sitting somewhere and reading or listening to a book. So I mean, like on one hand, it's really great to habit stack. On the other hand, do we just need to sit still where we don't have to do anything? We can just sit still and listen or read, or that's the part that is hard.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Ooh, that could be a podcast topic.
Yeah. And I do like one of my 2025 like intentions is I need to fine tune it a lot more. Michelle, maybe you can help me with that sometime.
I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
But I really want to like I want my life to be like every day is a mini retreat.
Oh.
Like that's the goal. Like obviously it's not going to be, but
so I'll ask you one little coachy question that you can go ruminate on when we're off of here.
Okay.
So if you were able to do that, right? Like, so if we were sitting here on the podcast in December of 2025 and you were able to do that, you made every day a little mini retreat, how would you feel?
Well, I think I would feel sort of justified because I'm always preaching about people need to do self-care. So it's like I'm validating my own advice. So maybe I'll feel validated. I feel like I'll feel calm and at peace, and hopefully I'll be just a more stable emotionally, spiritually. That would be how I would hope it would make me feel.
Okay.
And also gratitude of just being able to do that.
So take all of those, and again, go do this on your own when we're off of here, and then play around with what you want that intention to sound like. So you are going to be something, right? So the intention is to be something. So if your end result is that you want to be calm and at ease and feel validated or whatever it is, like pick the thing that resonates the most, and then that becomes the intention. Be calm, and so then you can use it as a touchstone every day when you're like, okay, I want my day to feel like a retreat. In order to do that, my intention today is to be calm, right? So there's your intention every day, is to be calm, or to used a few other words in there that were really good. So you just have to find the one that resonates the most. And then every day you're like, okay, if I can be X, then my little day is going to be like a little retreat, and I can do that every day. Yeah.
I love that. And it's funny that you focus on calm because whenever I do yoga nidra and whenever I lead yoga nidra, a lot of times I throw out an example for the sankalpa, which is the intention for the practice. And I almost always use I am calm and confident as my example because I personally use that one all the time.
That was my
your riding.
Yes, I'm a calm and confident rider on a brave and willing horse.
Oh,
that was my
Maybe
Yeah.
I've heard you say that. Maybe that's where that came up for me because I love
That's
that.
a good one.
I am
Yeah.
calm and confident.
Calm and
But I had
confident
a little
Robin.
bit of a longer one that I worked on recently because I did a little meditation course on Insight Timer. It was like a 4-day course, and there was part of it that really focused on how to set your sankalpa for your yoga nidra practice.
For your yoga nidra.
Yeah, because it's very very much like seeding. You're seeding that, it's manifestation, and you're seeding that deeply into the brain, and therefore the more you seed it, the more the brain rewires itself to actually make it happen.
So this is shiny object random and has nothing to do with our topic, but I have a question for you, Lara, as the yoga nidra person, because I really have gotten to where I like yoga nidra, but I do have a really hard time because it's your sankalpa, right? Is that what it's called? Is that the intention? I have a really hard time because it always feels like I don't have enough time to think of one. So like, I guess now that I know it comes with every time you do it, I should be more prepared.
Be a Boy Scout, Michelle.
So
Be a Boy
I
Scout.
think that's something that, and as a person who leads yoga nidra meditation, I think that's something I'll try to remember, because until I took this last 3-day or 4-day course, I didn't think about it in terms of you can use the same one every time you do it, because it is a seed. So you can have your own sankalpa that is just yours. And then as time goes on, you can revise it as needed, but that's like your deep, heartfelt desire, if you will, of how you want to be in the world.
And so probably I should just take my annual intention and I can use that until something. Oh, thank you, Lara. That is so helpful, because I'm there. I'm like, oh my God, the pressure's on. I got to come up with one before we move on, and they're going to move on, and I can't pause. And
Yeah.
How to ruin the whole yoga nidra experience.
It's probably true for a lot of people, because when I first started doing it, I kind of felt the same way, like pressure to, plus they're like, make it a deep,
right? Make it a good one.
Heart's desire. And I'm like, oh my God, there's so many things.
So much pressure. Now I've ruined the whole experience. How to ruin
sankalpa.
Okay, well there we go. That was a little off topic. But thank you, Lara.
Anyway, what else did we learn? Like, didn't like?
Yeah, that's
about
good.
Our first year in podcast land.
I'll confess.
No.
I don't love my voice anyways. But I know I do this, it's hard for me, but when I hear myself doing it, it's even worse. I feel like I talk over people all the time, and I interrupt. Maybe I don't interrupt as much on the podcast, but I do sometimes feel like I talk over, and I'll hear it on the podcast when I listen back. And I listen back because, one, I just want to remember what we said, but two, because of that. Because like, I need to be more mindful to just be quiet until the other person is completely finished speaking.
Okay, I have a really funny story. Well, I guess it's not really funny, but I have an interesting story about that. Like 100 years ago, when I was very young, I don't even remember, maybe my 20s, I don't know. Anyway, before I was really into all this stuff, I had a friend who was kind of like a mentor, a little older woman who I really liked, super nice. And like so I hadn't seen her for a while. I don't know, she'd gotten divorced, something, whatever. Anyway, we're at lunch and we're having a conversation. And I noticed, like, I would say, we'd be talking and I would finish. And it was almost like she was counting to 10 before she said anything. And I was like, what the heck is up with Barb? Like, this is the weirdest conversation ever. And so I asked her about it. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like, why are you doing that? She said, I am really trying not to talk over people. And one of the ways they say you can do that is to consciously count before you reply and she's really trying hard not to be coming up with her answer before she had time to think about what I had said. And in order to do that, you got to take a moment. And it was so awkward to be on the receiving end of like, that I'm like, wait, I need you to talk over me. like
I know
how
there's
does
a
this
happy medium. Oh, I just did it.
right? So, but seriously, it's so strange. It's so good for you for noticing, and because it's a hard thing. And then honestly, the other person really is not prepared to have somebody actually listen that well. Like that's a little off-putting. So just a thought around that.
I think you're right. And I think it's okay to have a little bit of it. It's just a matter of being really mindful about not constantly doing it. And sometimes I think it's because I think I have something really witty to say and I just want to like throw it in there. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Am I so self-centered that I'm like, oh, all I have to say is so funny right now?
I kind of feel like if I don't say it when it pops into my head, I'll forget it. And
Yeah,
then I won't,
timing is everything.
right? Like I'll forget. Sometimes I'll cross my fingers to help me. I'll be like, oh, and be like, so I remember after the other person stops talking. Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard one.
Yeah. Okay, well, I did read a quote recently that made me think of that too, and it was listen to understand, not to respond.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. But I mean, sometimes the back and forth is fun, and it's like we want that to be the case. Banter.
Yeah, because when I edit, I take out all the pauses. So if we're pausing for 10 seconds, they're getting cut out anyway.
So now they're like, oh my God,
like,
they're all talking over each other all the time.
Move along, people, move along.
Okay, so now that Lara has done a confession, I have a confession too, because, since I edit these things,
Ugh.
of course I have to listen to them like
God
way
bless
more than I really want to.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have got to stop saying like. It makes me crazy. I say like, and I'll be like, well, and then like I went down there, and then like I did this, and then like I was like, Amy, stop saying like. Seriously, it's so freaking annoying. So I'm working on it. So I'm gonna get myself like a shock collar or something, and every time I say like, I'm like,
I'd be a little distracting for us watching you.
It's so annoying. I'm like,
oh, that is so funny. That's funny because
Yeah.
I didn't notice that, but I think now our listeners are going to be like, "Oh my God, yeah!" Like,
I'm gonna make it
interrupting. Amy's saying like all the time. I can't listen to these people anymore.
People are gonna make a drinking game out of how many times I say like.
That'd be good. That'd be a nice contribution to the world. Another
You're
drinking
welcome, people. You're welcome, because you're gonna be hammered in the first like 5 minutes. There, I just said it like in the first like 5 minutes.
Okay, well,
for the rest of this podcast, I'm going to drink every time I say like.
Oh, I'm just gonna start saying it now.
I'll run out of wine. Okay, now we need a confession from Michelle.
Oh, well, I have the biggest one of all.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't even listen.
I don't listen to any of them.
I knew that.
Yeah,
I cannot. Ever.
I have not ever listened to a single one of our podcasts. Like, I cannot stand the idea, and I truly hate the whole YouTube thing. Like, oh, I'm saying I am the most reluctant, resistant podcast partner, ever. I'm doing like now. Okay, oh my gosh, Amy, I'm you. Drink again. So that's my confession. So if it wasn't for Amy and Lara, Michelle would not be on a podcast. Absolutely not.
It's your idea to start it.
I know.
We need you because you are the curious monkey.
That's the funny part.
My husband Bill said, because he's been one of our longtime listeners, first time caller. But he said if it wasn't for, Amy is the glue that holds it together. He said, so just, he said, you and Lara are okay, but like you talk about like the same kind of stuff, but Amy's a good sort of,
I'm a smart ass in the middle.
Yeah. He said that's what really, really is the best part of the whole program.
Oh,
so there you go, Amy.
Thanks, Billy. I'll send him a check later.
Yeah. We'll take whatever you say. Yeah. very, very happy. So that's my confession. I'm the most reluctant podcast human because I just don't really. I'm going to use the word like. And now I'm going to pay attention to that. The whole, social media, whatever, all that stuff. I don't dig it, but it's such a great, fun thing to hang out with my friends, Amy and Lara. I'm not sure why I wouldn't do it. It's,
Well, that's how it all started.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I
truly.
feel, and again, I'm going to use the word like, but it's okay in this sentence. Like if it fits into the sentence, okay, but don't add it on.
Apparently I do it a lot too now that I'm paying attention. Yeah, really
No, I
bad.
definitely don't notice yours when I'm editing. I need to do a word count on like sometime on some of our I feel like we had to for the love of God, Amy, get it together. Um and I honestly have not had a drop of alcohol.
Somebody count the likes and put them in the comments when we post this episode.
Oh, I know. Yeah, the
You
closest
win
to
a
the actual
prize.
number
You win
wins
a
a prize.
Yeah.
It's like guess the number of M&Ms in a jar or
That's
something.
it.
And the winner will get Amy on their message machine or whatever is
Oh.
being like. It's like calling, like, can you like leave a like message?
No. But I feel like if we didn't do this, we wouldn't get together. I feel like this forces us to get together. And we want to get together, but this just forces us to get
It does.
together.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's more of an
now,
obligation, but in a good way.
yes, right? It kind of like your accountability partner if you're going to the gym. Oh, that. Yeah. So annoying.
Yeah, that's true. I like that. Like is
like
okay in that situation.
Yeah, it is. Because
I wonder, we're going to have to come up with some words to replace
like
that word.
Yeah.
There's a project.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
when we first decided to do this, it was, I don't even know, like in the fall maybe of last year, and
November or so of 23.
I kind of was like, like I really wanted to do it, and I thought it would be fun, and it was because of that same reason that we could all get together. But I kept thinking, are we really going to is the podcast really going to happen? Are we really going to get that done over the course of a whole year? And we did.
Thank you, Amy and Lara.
I'm proud of us.
Yeah.
Here we are. Yeah, 28 episodes in.
Yeah. And no, we really don't have a lack of subject material.
No, for sure. And I feel like we need to like really write down the list of things that every time we do a podcast, we're like, oh yeah, we could do a whole podcast on that. And then we don't.
Yeah, we need to take better notes.
There's a
for our list.
I
mean, speaking of notes, I've got a lot of bullet points. And like a lot of like how to this, certified virtual ? Manifestation intention, me, you, male versus female. What even does that mean? Like
your notes.
That's notes from Lauren Beller's episode.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. So I mean, like my notes were really just so we could help write show notes, but looking back at them, it's like, what was that episode about? Here's something that I'm not sure, but it says what looks like inner man girls, which I know it's probably not. And then this is my chicken scratch. Then it says gold digger. I can't read that.
Well, and it's a podcast, maybe.
Isn't there
gold?
Yeah, it must be.
Oh, gold digger.
Yeah,
yes. I do remember you talking about it.
Yeah,
gold. GOAL.
Yeah, so that's kind of funny though to go back and see what the notes said.
That's so funny that you guys are taking notes during the podcast. Like I take notes before to like try to keep on track of what we should kind of talk about, but I don't take notes during.
I scribble notes during, but because I'm trying to look at
you
guys,
write the show notes.
my writing is really bad. Yeah. But I take notes because I try to work in certain things in the show notes that might have been funny, or like if we want to mention a brand, like obviously I didn't remember Smithwick or whatever, but I really put it in there. I think it's in the notes.
Swiftwick.
What was
Smithwick
it?
is like
Smithwick is like sausage or something.
Fun. That was a fun episode. And you know what? That made me go to that little running, like I had no
oh yeah, you
idea.
got your shoe.
Yeah, made me go to that little running store and meet that guy who owned the running place. And he got me my cool little, I need new sneakers. So
Yeah. Well, so speaking of that, maybe we should, as we start winding this one down, because this will be a shorter one than our normals, we should throw out what we're thinking about for next year, as far as like some ideas that we've already said we want to talk about, which is challenges. We're going to give each other little challenges.
I need to write
We
this
talked about
down.
doing that this year, and then we totally screwed
Didn't
up
do
on
it.
We
that.
talked about it. We just never did it. So in the first one, I think that we could probably all do is do this little silent retreat thingy, whether it's just a day. That would be a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
Great
idea.
And I'm not writing them down because
I'm writing things down. I gotta take a note or two. All right.
I don't have a pen.
I don't have a pen.
Where's my?
Oh, I do. I lied.
It's so cold in this office most of the time. Everything is like gets gluggy.
Gets what?
Gluggy.
You know, it's like the ink. You gotta come on.
The pen is freezing.
Oh, Michelle.
Michelle lives in the wilderness, everybody.
I do. And well, anyway, that's a whole conversation. My inability to organize my office and my paperwork. I actually think I'm gonna bite the bullet and hire somebody to come and organize my house.
Ooh, cool.
Do all my things. So
I could have just come live with you.
Yeah, you could probably knock this out in no time.
Maybe you could do that.
That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. Oh, Amy, no, this would not be fun. Would this be fun?
I feel like you've been taking trips to the dump for the past like 3 years. I'm like, how can you still have things?
Oh, you know what? Well, never mind. That's another. We should talk about that. That's a great.
Add that to the list.
Okay.
Organization.
What is the topic? Organization
and clearing clutter.
Clearing the clutter. Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
Because it's really just clutter. Like, yeah.
That's a good one for the new year.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I also think it'd be fun for us each to do almost like a coaching episode where like maybe we do it every now and then, even like where we each take like our expertise. So like Amy takes an episode and talks about like, hey, we're going to talk about meal prep and I'm going to like teach you how to do some basic stuff. And then we can ask questions because it's not our thing.
That would be great because that is a real problem for me. I cannot get that done. Yeah.
And like and Michelle would be a good mindset coach and we can talk about that one day and she could coach us and then I can coach you guys maybe on some like general yoga and some basic moves that you can do to make your body healthier and quieter and calmer.
Ooh, let's do that.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Write that down.
Lara, quieter, calmer. I need some calming.
Nervous system regulation through yoga.
Oh.
Yeah.
There we go.
And if you guys are listening and you're like, oh my gosh, I have the best idea, but we haven't said it because we can't think of everything. Email us or put a note up on our socials and let us know what topics you want to see for next year. I'll put that in the post that for the new year or this end of the year post.
And I do think, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, do you remember what our email is?
Is it 3monkeyswellness@gmail.com?
Yes.
With the 3 spelled out.
You spell that.
Only because that's Michelle's title on here.
Oh, look at me.
No.
There we go. Who knows? I don't know how any of this works.
wellness@gmail.com and the 3 is spelled out. Yeah, email us please and or just put it on social because some people do comment or send us messages on social and if we don't answer right away it's just because it's not our 100% main focus.
There's a shocker. Bet they couldn't figure that out.
This is not where our main source of income comes from.
Exactly.
We did actually just get a recent comment on our social that
shout out to the commenter.
felt someone felt that we needed to do a retreat.
Yes, we do. So for 2025, keep your ears and eyes open for and it'll be a Three Monkeys Wellness retreat.
Yeah, a mini
Let's see,
retreat.
Maybe
coming
hosted by Monkey
to-
Chatter or something.
TBA, TBD.
TBD.
Yeah, a mini
Vacation
retreat
and break. Yep.
coming to a Midwestern Eastern city near you.
Yes.
All 3 cities.
We'll figure it out. Something.
Yeah.
We'll come up with something we should make that a goal for
An
2025.
in-person
I thought you
retreat.
hated goals.
I
Didn't
do
you
hate
just
goals.
talk
I'm
to
very
us about how much you
resistant to
hate
goals.
goals?
They annoy the crap out of me. So,
I think
yeah.
you told us that about 3 times in the
However,
last
my intent,
podcast.
yeah, I do. I hate them. They're so annoying. I find, yeah. However, intentions I can dig, and so my overall intention kind of plays into that. So that'll be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Our intention is to have at least one, potentially more, mini retreats in one of the 3 cities in which we reside.
Reside.
And they're all awesome places. So that'll be fun.
Awesome.
Well, you
That's
guys live way more awesome than I do.
No, we're all equally awesomeness.
No, the places where you live, we're all equally awesome, but the places where we live.
I don't know. There's cool things where you live.
Some pretty
too,
cool
Amy.
places where you live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got something that neither of us have. The big body of water.
Oh.
Yeah, right. I've got a little body of water. Yeah.
You got a big lake. We have lakes here, but not in Lexington. Well, not really in Lexington, but yeah. You actually have an ocean near you.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Do I?
You do? Have you been
Where?
I mean, isn't the ocean on the other side of the bay or something? I don't know.
Okay, geography, not our best thing. This will not be a podcast with.
I was like, yes, you do. You have an ocean.
Lara is sure that Amy has an ocean.
Okay, math and geography, not my strong suits.
Yeah, me either.
Sarcastic.
Oh, sarcasm. Just another service Amy offers. Yes, we do appreciate that.
I like sarcasm. Like, wait, what?
Well, it's easy to get really confused sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
I blame it on the one glass of wine that's not
That's
even
it.
yet.
I'm sure that's it.
Half a glass.
Yeah. So maybe we should.
For guests, maybe we can have some more guests.
Yes, I think we should. So if anybody has a suggestion on who you'd like to hear in sort of anything in the wellness space, right? So mind, body, spirit.
Because we can't get her.
Yeah, and let's be realistic. Like people like us can get.
Well, send over who send it over, and then we'll just find somebody close.
I already know who I want to invite on for mindfulness, and she did do some training with Brene Brown many years ago.
Yeah.
And she is amazing, and I love her. So I would love to invite her on next year. Her name's Cindy Reed, and she's a trauma-informed counselor, therapist, licensed.
Listen to me, fun. Oh, that would be so fun.
Trauma-informed, all of the above. Fun. Yeah. So I'm gonna get the nerve up to ask her to be a guest on our podcast next year.
Yeah,
I've talked about her. Somebody, and I have somebody in mind. And Amy, you and I have talked about this a little bit. Financial wellness, like money. Somebody to come in, women and money, and getting your shit together sooner rather than later.
Yeah. That's a really good. I wrote that.
Oh, I love when you write things down. I feel so validated.
Yeah, that's a good one. We've talked about that several times, and
I just think that's a really tough topic for a lot of people.
Yeah,
and
I think it is too, and I know a lot of single women that struggle with that too.
Right. Yeah.
So, by the way, I don't know what this is on my sweater. I think it is a penguin.
It's a penguin.
It's a penguin. What's this gold thing at the bottom?
It's not my sweater. I found it in my daughter's closet.
What's the gold thing down on him?
His belly?
Oh.
He has a gold belly.
I don't
He kind of
know.
looks like an avocado.
It does. It's got a green scarf on top. Yeah.
like
So now, if you're not watching, you got to go see our YouTube channel so you can see
Oh
my.
my God. Which,
I'm
of course, Michelle
I'm
hates.
pretty sure that either my daughter or me, and I don't remember which one of us, bought this for an ugly sweater Christmas party.
Well, I
It's
certainly
like, I
hope
don't
you
have any
didn't buy it for
Christmas
a real one.
sweaters. I don't have a Santa hat. I have
That's
single
nothing.
bell
This
earrings.
is the best I could do.
And
That's
yours is
it.
perfect, Michelle.
It's not
And-
perfect, but it's all I got.
But it's decent. But I
Blair and I
literally,
have our trees.
and I have my tree, and I just went, okay, we have a few seconds. Can I just lament about my tree real quick?
Yes.
So I just want you all to know, this is the first time ever I've had a not real tree. It's not real. I bought a fake tree. And
Confessions.
I don't like it. It doesn't have a smell at all.
Mm.
And it has LED lights. Like, all the lights were on it already, and I guess I didn't read all the fine print. And they're LEDs, which is kind of cool because you can change the colors,
Yes.
which is kind of cool.
Yep.
But also, they're LEDs, and they're like bright and glaring, and I don't love them. And the white, which is my preference for tree lights, is like blinding white. It's like car halogens, a million of them on your tree shining into your brain at night.
Oh my God, I just thought of Christmas Vacation when all the lights come on. And
That's exactly what I thought too.
It's pretty. It's a pretty tree, and all the ornaments are on it. It's all that, but the lights. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be a business tree next year, maybe, and I'll go back to the real thing.
Get a little,
I literally had to go buy fresh greens. Like I went to Trader Joe's and they have the cuttings.
Yeah.
I bought them just to have that smell in my house.
In the house, yeah.
So
I'll get a little pencil tree.
Like, Amy's, your tree is so pretty, and I like the soft white lights.
It is soft white. I do like soft white light.
And please tell the listeners about your tree collection.
Yeah, my tree collection is smaller this year. I normally do either 6 or 7 trees. This year it was just 4. So
just 4.
But I do love Christmas. But like there we go again. I couldn't justify putting up all of the trees when Thanksgiving was so close to Christmas this year. It was and I should have started earlier than what I did, but I didn't decorate until the weekend after Thanksgiving. And so had I got that timing all down before, I probably would have started like 2 weeks earlier. But oh well, we're just gonna go with 4. It'll just be less I have to put away after Christmas.
That's true. And we still have 2 weeks,
okay.
or, well, by the time you guys hear this, it'll be Christmas, but we're recording it 2 weeks earlier. And Amy, you can put them up and leave them up till February because they're not real trees, right?
No, they're not.
They're artificial, yeah, and they're beautiful.
Yeah, I do love the little pencil tree. Like this pencil, I just have a pencil tree here in the office.
Yeah,
cute. Yeah, but I do the video I sent you guys the other day. Is we have a pretty giant. It's, I don't know, 9 or 10 foot, I think, in our bedroom, and I do really like that. Like it's nice to just kind of lay in bed with that and do a little reading, and
that is cool. I never thought of putting a tree in my bedroom.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. So, on that note, we're about to say peace out to 2024.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for listening. Thank you guys for being my podcast partners.
I was going to say, thanks for spending 2024 with me.
Do we need to do one more sign off?
Of course we do, because,
Yeah, and this is actually going to air on New Year's Eve. Really?
Oh,
right?
After Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Happy New Year to everybody.
So happy New Year.
2025. Woo, woo.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
I love the New Year.
All right.
Okay.
Ready? We're going to do it?
Okay.
One last time in 2024.
Okay.
Ready? We're going to do the...
Yep.
Ready?
Okay.
Monkey chatter.
Monkey chatter. Who you hang with matters.
Monkey
chatter.
Monkey chatter. Who you hang with matters.
Monkey chatter. Monkey chatter.
Who you hang with matters.
Monkey
got it.
kisses,
All right.
monkey chatter. Who matters?
Happy.
That was the worst of the whole entire.
Happy 2024.
Thank you all for listening.
Yes.
5,
Thank you.
whatever we're doing. Yeah.
See you next
Peace
year.
out.
Yeah. See you next year.